Hi, it's us again from the future.
Yes, we're making the most of our time machine.
In this case, we bring you a review of a not very small game, but a small game that we really liked 2 years ago when we were still trying to make a podcast together with our friend, the mysterious Joe. I think we might have mentioned him before.
I think it might have been 3 years ago, actually, but yeah, it's been a while.
Mm-hmm. We are great procrastinators.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of wanted to just bring this to you, since not much has changed on our opinion on the game. Of course, the opinions were of the time that we made it, but it doesn't matter too much. We are happy with the episode as it is, so we want to bring it to you. There it is.
Yeah, I hope you enjoy this. Sorry about the bad microphones that we both had at the time. I should say that, even though our opinions have not really changed on this since, it was amusing to me how we're lamenting the lack of cat games at the time, and how we also were wishing for a game with a cat that was a bit more like Dog's Life.
And we did. You might have heard in the episode before this.
No, I think it's the episode that goes up after this, but yeah.
It's in one of these episodes.
Yes, I also did a full stream of it recently.
Yeah, I mean, the important thing of all this is, full disclaimer, this is old. We're shoving the old stuff to you right now, so
we're scraping the barrel already.
Scraping the barrel. But the thing is that after this episode, we are out of old recordings.
Of old stuff, yeah.
So after this, no more bad mic work, no more, as much awkwardness as we had back then.
Not really sure about that one, but okay.
We're still awkward, and we're gonna continue being awkward for a while. I think we're getting a little bit better, but hey, we like talking about games, so that's the main point.
Yeah. I mean, we're saying this is the end of the old stuff. There are some other old stuff with Joe that I've not gone back and checked.
I would question their salvageability.
Okay.
But we can see.
We can see. Maybe there's going to be a bonus at some point, or maybe we'll actually have Joel here in the present at some point and record some extra episodes. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this one.
Yeah.
Catch you again in the present, in the future, whatever. Let's go back to our time machine.
Do I make the sound effect? Pew, 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 pew,
I have the sound effects.
Pew, pew,
I can
pew,
put them
pew,
in.
pew, pew, pew. No, use mine. Pew, 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 pew.
Are you shooting lasers or?
You. Do you like cats?
I like those, yes. They're an animal.
Oh.
I know.
Really?
They have 4 legs and they have weapons on every leg.
I put nail polish in my cat's weapons.
Oh.
I make her fancy. Then I put her on a leather jacket, and I put her on a tiny bike.
Okay. That
And
sounds
then-
like a very cooperative, tolerant version of a cat.
My cat, if I even touch her, I think, not to touch her, if I try to lift her or do anything with her torso, she just attacks. So
No, mine likes getting picked up. In fact, she actually asks for it sometimes.
Oh, that's cute. No, my cat
Yeah.
doesn't like being picked up. She wants to go on top of you, sleep on your lap, and if you move, she bites you.
Yeah, that sometimes happens with mine as well.
Yeah, and
Mine likes having her butt slapped, though.
Oh,
Yeah,
butt slapping.
I have a kinky.
Well, speaking of butt slapping, there is none of that in Stray.
I know.
Cats.
Not those cats, though.
No, yeah, not the musical. Or the movie. Have you seen the movie? Cats?
No, I haven't.
I haven't either.
Yeah, that film looks really bad.
Anyway, we're not going to talk about that. That's kind of crappy. We're going to talk about something that's not too crappy, I think.
So we're talking about Stray.
Yeah, we are. it is hard for us to coordinate in playing a game. So it felt like a good opportunity for both of us to just sit down and talk about something we both played.
And if I'm not mistaken, we also both liked.
Okay, then let's start with the main thing then. Did you like Stray?
I did like Stray a lot.
Oh.
I'm actually one trophy away from getting the platinum on it as well, which is the speed run. But I'm taking a week break from it, so I don't.
Yeah, I have left a good gap between my first playthrough and when I return to it, but I will return to it for a platinum.
Even before finishing it, I reloaded a couple of levels to do stuff I realized I could do differently because the level was fresh in my head. Kind of incidentally, I realized I missed a memory, and I liked picking up the memories, not for the trophy. It was just a thing that it seemed meaningful.
Yeah, we can talk about it in a bit.
Yeah.
I missed the memory as well. I missed some stuff in my first playthrough, but I didn't really go through it with like trophies, having a look at trophies or anything. I knew the game was short, so I was like, okay, let me just play it. Let me just see how it is.
Yeah, I wasn't really looking at the list. It was more like, and this is, I think we've privately talked about this before, but I like it a lot when trophies make sense regarding the game design and what you can do in a game. And in this game, it seems that there aren't any arbitrary, stupid things to jump through hoops to achieve. It's like, I don't know, there's this level and you can do this stuff and there's a trophy if you manage to do this stuff perfectly. And that makes a lot of sense because it's a challenge that I would impose upon myself anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's start with that. Let's start with, what is Stray? How would you describe it?
Let's see. It's not quite a platformer, is it?
Yes and no. It's not a platformer in the traditional sense that you need to nail a jump or anything, because it kind of, well, if no one has gotten so far, you play as a little cute ginger cat that jumps around, does very cat things, but so happens that you end up in a post-apocalyptic world.
Well, you are in a post-apocalyptic world to begin with, but you don't know it yet.
Yeah, but not as a cat. So as a cat, you're just in, old sewers and stuff, but they're filled with green, and you're with your friends, and then you fall down a hole, and you end up in a very old school, poor people live here, medium people live here, rich people live here, kind of like hierarchy of dystopian futures that we've seen before, but they're not people, they're robots, and your cat ends up. And you have to navigate yourself through the world which is one thing that I liked a lot. Like, you have to think like a cat, not like a human being. So walking through the street normally is not recommended. What you have to do instead is like look for little nooks and crannies that you can climb up on, and you get a little X prompt, to jump on things, and you find little climbing paths. So it's more of a platformer puzzle in a way, because you need to find your path to places, and not everything is super obvious. It's more about you paying attention to detail.
The challenge is not so much in actually making the jumps, but rather figuring out what path are you going to take and where are you going to go, and solving some puzzles that are interwoven in the environment sometimes.
Yeah.
There is a little bit of a challenge in certain areas that makes it a little bit more like a stealth game, I would say.
Yeah, you do have a stealth section later on in the game, and you have some chase sections early on.
Yeah.
We can talk about that with the story bit, but since we're talking about gameplay, we can start with that.
Yeah, and I think you were saying how you have to think a little bit like a cat in this game. I think anybody who has lived with cats will probably get in tune with that really quickly.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly one thing I was thinking playing through the game is like, I appreciate my cat more through playing this game. Like the little things that she does and the little mannerisms. I think the game got them down really well. There were maybe a couple that were missed, but certainly I think I get less annoyed by my cat being an asshole after being a cat in this game. Because it seems like such an obvious thing to do if you're a cat. That of course you're gonna do it.
So, as the basic controls that you have with this, of course, you can like walk around, you jump on places, but you have a dedicated meow button.
Yeah.
Which I may have abused to death. And I love it because like during cutscenes as well, at least a lot of the cutscenes and a lot of the set stuff you can still meow during them.
Really?
Yeah, so when like robots talk to you a lot of the time, because I think some are
oh wait, you mean the dialogue stuff, not actual cutscenes.
Some cutscenes as well. There are some that are pre-rendered that I don't think you can meow during.
Yeah.
So like the one that you fall into the hole in the beginning, for example, I don't think you can meow, but a lot of the other ones you can. And I was just destroying dialogue, but just meowing on top of them. It's not like it has a lot of dialogue. It's mostly bleep bloops because spoilers. It's all robots that people interact with. Almost, kinda. Spoilers.
Yes. I mean, the whole thing is a spoiler cast, really. If anyone's listening to this, I think they know what to expect. Like these specials, that's what we do. We talk in depth about games we really liked. So, yeah. You shouldn't be listening up to this point if you haven't played the game and you care about spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
You care about avoiding spoilers, rather.
What else you can nap, which I liked.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point, I like found the first napping spot. It was like next to a robot on a couch, and it was talking to another robot.
Yeah, that's the first one I found as well.
Yeah, and I was feeling like, you know what, I'm gonna let the cat nap for a while, and I'd like pick up the book and I read a bit, and at some point an achievement went off, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, there was my favorite. Which one was your favorite sleeping spot?
There was a lap that I could sleep on. It was very funny because the robot like is very shocked in the beginning, and then it's just like, oh, this is actually kind of nice.
Yeah, that was great. The jumping up on the lap. Yeah,
there was a bookcase as well you could sleep in a little shelf that was very cute.
I think that was my favorite one. That's where I spent most. That's where I got the trophy because I spent most of the time sleeping on that one.
My least favorite though was like a rooftop. It was too exposed, then open, and didn't like it. Still sleep.
Yeah, although you could argue that a cat might sleep there because it's high.
Yeah, but it was not covered. It was not cozy.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't seem soft enough.
No, that's fair enough.
You can also scratch on things, and it can be for your own pleasure in a way, but also it has some mechanical purposes.
Yeah.
You played it on the PS4?
Yeah, the base PS4.
Yeah. I played it on the PS5. Well, with the controllers that are a bit adaptive, you actually get a little bit more resistance. And it feels more like scratching, which is very cute.
Okay. That's cool.
In general, like you act a lot like a cat until you meet your buddy, basically, that you're going to have with you for the rest of the time. That equips you with a harness and puts it on, and you can carry them with. But the moment with that harness is that the moment the cat puts it on, which kind of killed me, was the cat immediately just refuses moving the moment the harness is on.
That was actually great. I laughed out loud there. It was awesome. It was the most cat-like thing. That's the moment where I think I really fell in love with the game.
Yeah.
And speaking of the meow button that you said, it's a male cat, isn't it? It's a he.
I'm not sure. Is it?
I think so. I remember reading somewhere that this was based on a real cat of one of the devs or something.
Yes, and also have credited the cat voice actor in the end of the game. Like if you see, like for the meows, they had recorded a cat for this, and they credited it in the.
Okay, I missed that one.
So the cat voice actor's name is Lala.
Okay.
Google Lala stray cat voice actor or something, or Lala if you are Greek, but probably it's Lala. Ginger Fireball stray, blah blah blah. no gender. They didn't give the cat a gender.
I'm gonna go ahead and assume the cat's gender and say it's a female because only because the noun for cat in Greek is female.
Yeah, works, I suppose.
And I'll probably slip up if I decide to do a different one. So yeah. Also, my cat is female, so it's identification with my cat. The moment the harness is put on and she falls on the floor, I stayed there for like a minute, meowing forlornly every once in a while, because that's exactly what my cat would do if we did this. Like she fell on the floor and just, although I would say that I was a little bit disappointed at the limited range of meows that you could do, and that you didn't like. I would have loved it if there were dedicated different meows that you could do.
Oh, in each situation, like scared meow, happy meow, chill.
Exactly, because some seemed a bit out of context.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, there were a preset set of meows, and sometimes you could see them repeating if you meowed too much in a specific set of time. But there were quite a few, maybe not selectively picked. But it didn't bother me too much. I still spammed it to shit.
Yeah, I was meowing a lot at the beginning with my cat buddies. That's where the trophy popped even before I fell down to the city.
Yeah, there was a chatterbox.
Yeah.
Trophy, right?
Anyway, it was funny. You could also drink water. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
drink water from a couple. There are not too many places though that you can.
True.
I think I did it twice, maybe the whole game.
Yeah, so I drank a lot of water during those places because there weren't many.
Oh, good to stay hydrated. When you're in the post-apocalypse.
But speaking of scratching and meowing, there were a couple of doors that you had to scratch to go in places.
Yeah, because like you were getting a reaction of whoever was inside.
Yes.
So you were scratching on it, they were opening it up.
This game has bits in it that make it seem like such a love letter to both cats and cat owners.
Yeah.
It allows you to do so many cat things that are completely unnecessary, and they don't do much. But yeah, I went to that door and I scratched it. Guy opens the door, I meow, and then I walk away.
I swear that one of my cats used to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My cat does this as well. If I close any door in the flat, it's like scratching at the door. You open the door, and then it's like, all right, cool.
Okay, so what is the story, as you would describe it?
Well, I think you kind of summarized it at the beginning a little bit. You're a cat. You walk around with your buddies, and then you fall into a hole, and it turns out it's a vault of a city almost, but no humans are alive anymore. So you could call it a post-apocalyptic setting. There seems to be some kind of infection going on in the place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Zergs?
Zergs, yeah. That you get acquainted with really early on. They seem cute. But then, shortly after, you realize they're not. And the first action sequence of the game ensues, which you basically run through them, and they can kill you pretty quickly, and they're not cute at all. So they seem very parasitic in a way. Maybe, I don't know. They look parasitic, but you don't really know at that point. And then you come across the inhabitants of this place that seem very scared of you, and they're all robots, from what it looks like, and they have their own language. And you meet your companion, BlueTwelve, which, speaking of BlueTwelve, maybe I would ask here, who do you think is the main character in this game?
Well, most of the time you act as a carrier of BlueTwelve. It does end up in a different feel, let's say, that it does in the beginning. BlueTwelve certainly has the arc between the two of you, but I feel that they, and this will go also in my gripes later on, but I feel that they were a little bit lost by creating a story just about a cat. Hence, they inserted a little bit more humanity into it, and we'll talk about it a little bit as we go towards the ending of the story in a second or so. But I would say the cat is still the protagonist, mostly because it is all about this cat. it is all about what you do, how you do it as a cat, rather than B12. But certainly the story does surround B12 in the end.
Yeah, it seemed to me maybe that the main character was actually B12. This was his story, and the cat just happened to be there for it. Like the cat was the vessel for you to see what happened. It wasn't really the cat's story, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, except of a very loose story, like a cat is lost.
Yeah,
We want
yeah.
B12 wants you to return to your
Mm.
kitty friends, basically. But yeah, no real arc with a cat. Real arc with B12 that you find. It seems to not exactly remember its purpose.
So B12 is kind of a almost drone, like a small drone-like thingy that flies about and creates a harness for you that we were talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And he can, through him, you can understand the robot's language.
Yeah, here's the reason why you can communicate and actually like advance there. And despite not really having memories or knowledge of his purpose or anything like that, which is something that you pick up as you go along in the game. So you pick up memories for him to start reminding things and give you a little bit more lore information about the place that you're in.
Yeah, what happened? It's he used to, like, when you find him, he existed in the system, like I don't know, in the network as he calls it of the city.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of beckons you to find him in ways that are a little bit immersion breaking, I suppose, because you understand them as a human, but a cat would not understand what those messages mean. I don't think so. And probably wouldn't care if it understood.
Yeah, I suppose suspension of disbelief in that moment has to be applied a little bit. Or you're a really fucking smart cat.
I mean, yes, you could, that's how I suspended my disbelief in that, is that clearly it's far into the future. So maybe cats have evolved a bit more. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, we do not have a year, right? It was just future.
No. The only data thing we can see in the game is on October 11th, where all the calendars on the walls seem to be left at. Which I thought was interesting that it was... anyway, we'll get to that. So the city has multiple levels.
Yes, like B12 immediately wants to help you return to your colony and your friends, and you start going through the city. You end up in the lower level, which is the slums, and you very quickly start understanding that that city is made of multiple levels. So as you said, like, starts with the slums, and it's sealed off from the rest of them. Then there's a midtown sealed off from uptown. What was the... It was an uptown for sure.
I don't think it was uptown. I don't remember what it was called. All I remember is, well, I don't know. I have it in my mind as the control room area.
Basically. But it has this very much like class dystopia future.
It was the upper class area.
Yeah, the upper class area.
Like the whole city is very densely packed, and that's where thinking and behaving like a cat and how you navigate the environment really shines.
It is not huge. It's not huge, but it's very...
It ends up seeming and feeling very big because of how densely packed it is. And there's a lot of little things you can find and hidden nooks and crannies here and there. Little cute things where you can be a cat. What I liked a lot in the slums was that you got to see almost a character for the city through the inhabitants. And it was, I found it really interesting how their evolution seemed to be that they evolved their own language and they kept mimicking and the behaviors of the humans.
Yeah, to the point that they were creating religions, right?
Yes, yeah.
Like they had their shamans in a way in their little neighborhoods.
Yeah, there was the ant town that you went through before you go to Midtown, which was an interesting place as well. You had that robot that was meditating and had, I don't know, gone outside of his body and was having this astral projection in the screens behind him.
And the main thing that was like basically the people, the robots in the slums were afraid of were zergs that were able to chew through metal, right?
Yeah.
And they evolved from human bacteria, so
Yeah.
humans don't survive, their bacteria did, and they became little, almost like, what's the names of the Half-Life things? Head crabs? Head crabs?
Yeah. I think so.
Kind of like that, but cute. And they were making little cute sounds, but they were dangerous.
Yeah, but there was like this weird.
Their nests were awful.
Maybe jumping forward a little bit, but you go through the sewers before you can get out of the slums, and that's, I suppose, where they're. If you can call it a nest, I don't know. Maybe that's where the whole mutation started. But there was those fucking big eyeballs everywhere that kept looking at you and then shaking the place. And I started thinking, is this a sentient organism at this point?
It is. Certainly, it's not particularly sentient in the way that we think or how the robots were, but they had developed, from what I understand, a basic understanding of survival, and they had, a very hunt-oriented kind of thing. But basically, why you need to go through that is to find a person from the slums that would be able to give you a tool to help you advance through the sewers that would get you to Midtown.
Yeah, there's this legend or myth that seems to exist in the slums of the outside that you come across. There are pictures everywhere of beaches and cows and stuff, and everyone has kind of given up on this idea as being true. It's almost like part of a religion at that point, the outside.
Yeah, and there are people that believe in it, and they're really outcasted in their own community.
Yes, and we see that more in Midtown, where the tone of the game really, really changes. And this, to me, was a very interesting thing. And I think it changed alongside the environmental design as well, and the gameplay loop, I suppose, or the linearity of the game. So the slums seem to be, to me at least, seem to allow a bit more playfulness. The inhabitants of the slums, even though they lived in the worst place imaginable in there, next to the infection and where everyone from the upper levels threw their trash in, they seem to have, despite that, a sense of community and be almost kind, like assuming kindness in each other, and also being open to you being a cat and being weird. And once they realized, oh, you're safe, you're not gonna eat us, you're not a zerg, they kind of opened up.
Very quickly, actually. Like, I didn't find a lot of resistance personally.
And there was a barter system as well with the barterman and all that, and that you gave them, I don't know, what was it?
Energy drinks.
Energy drinks, and they gave you stuff. And then you go up to Midtown, and the tone shifts a hell of a lot.
Yeah, now that you mention it, it's true. Like, people were way friendlier in the slums than in Midtown. Like, as it went on, it became harsher in a way. People were less open to you being around, more indifferent in a way. It felt like you were in a London or an Athens or a New York.
Right. It felt like a city. Like they didn't care about you or were actually hostile. You had police in the area that was very frightened of you. I found that really interesting. There was a police robot right before the entrance to the levels were connected by elevators that were not working anymore. So there was a big elevator that was going up from the slums to Midtown that was not working and was locked. And then from Midtown, there was another elevator going up to the upper level that was also kind of cordoned off. And before the entrance to the Midtown to Upper Town elevator, there was a little vehicle and a police robot kind of stopping that vehicle and saying, like, this is, I don't know, it's dangerous to go the elevator, it's not working, blah, blah, turn back. And if you go in, there was a button to kind of snuzzle up to robots.
Oh, yes, you can rub around.
So if you go in and as a cat rubbed yourself on that robot's feet, legs, it becomes frightened of you and yells at you to please go away or something. Did you do that? Did you see that?
Yes, I think I snuggled around a lot of robots.
Yeah, me too.
I got a trophy for it, so I
Yeah.
suppose it's enough. But yeah, they are more like in total they're more frightened of you, and eventually, as you mess around for you to be able to progress further, they actually start patrolling the area.
Yeah,
and you get little drones that are, have the very classic beam light that if you step in, they see you and they try to kill you, basically. It wasn't hard in any way, but they become very violent towards you. Like they literally shoot you dead if you step in somewhere that they're patrolling.
Yeah.
And, hostility is increasing and it brings up a more urgency of you really need to get out.
I know.
Soon.
Even before I encountered the sentinels, those patrolling things, I felt less playful in that area.
Yeah, because already the robots were more aggressive to you. They were not allowing you to get into places. If you did get into places, they would suspect you of stuff. And while in the slums, you were like cooperating with them to solve their problems and for yourself to advance. In that one, you kind of have to trick them to get things done for you in various ways. Anyway, we're not going to go into too much detail, I suppose, on that.
So with that, I suppose the game becomes a little, or feels more linear. I don't know if it is more linear.
Well, there is a more clear path. It's not an open, spread out city with multiple levels that go up on top of each other. It is really a couple of streets, and there are a couple of places in each street that you have to go and tick a box in so you can advance with your little, Easter eggs and memories that you find or collectibles that you find. But there's less collectibles, there's less stuff to do, there's less exploration to do. It is almost fitting because it doesn't like in the slums that, which sounds very counterproductive in a way, but in the slums that is a bit more friendly, it does invite you a little bit more to explore since you have a good relationship with the robots, while in this one it doesn't.
Yeah.
It like the urgency for you to leave is more present. So it is fitting in a way, but on the other side, I felt it simplified a lot the level design, and I don't know if this was an intended feel or it was rush in a way to just minimize the scope of the game, because it seems like when they started it, the first area was big, it was sprawling, it was full of stuff, and the second one was like really limited in comparison. So I don't know if it was a limitation. It didn't bother me too much, but if you were to sit down and nitpick, like that's a thing that I would say, so what happened here? Because if we go to the last area as well, the last area was nothing. It was 2 rooms.
I would say that it seems to me to have been intentional, but of course this is an assumption and interpretation I'm making based on how I perceive the game to like what it was trying to convey. So the Midtown is an upper class, it's a middle class, I suppose, compared to the slums. So there's fewer people there. Like it seemed that the slums were like when you go up to the top and you can see the entire city. The slums is the biggest area of the city, and then there's a ring around it on the upper level, and then there's even a smaller area where the upper level is. So thinking about class structure, I suppose, it makes sense that the higher up you go, the narrower it is, and the fewer people have more privileges.
Well, I suppose the good thing is that with this change, it is still interpretable to be intentional. So even if it's a bad thing, even if they actually run out of resources, it is in a way fitting. Even if gameplay-wise, it does reduce the game a little bit as you go on. It like thins it out.
At the same time, it does change the pacing, and it does change what the game is. So it keeps it interesting while it's somewhat becoming more limited. Because if it was just the same, like you went through the slums, it was all that, and then you went to the next area and it was the same kind of area.
Yeah, because like, the slums is almost like a collectathon puzzle thing. Then you have, your little combat areas and like sneaky, like chase areas that you try to avoid the Zergs with B12. That at some point for a limited amount of time gets equipped with some sort of weapon that can kill Zergs. Then in Midtown it actually becomes more sneak puzzly, like almost adventure gamey.
Yes.
Like you need to find, the specific thing that you need to do a specific thing in another place, and it opens up a place for you, and then you sneak around a bit. It does change a lot in tone.
I think it works with what you said. And in the slums, you helped people to solve their problems, to find what they needed. It was a cooperative kind of gameplay solving strategy.
Yeah.
And then it became I'm gonna trick you to do the thing I need, or I'm gonna sneak past you because you're either not gonna let me or you're gonna kill me if you see me. It fits with the tone, and then you go up to the top level. And we should say that the Midtown also is where the prison level was as well.
Yeah, you go to jail. You literally go to jail, and it was miserable.
Yes, and again, looking from the top, there's a huge area in Midtown which is basically a prison. And similarly, I guess to the slums, the robots there have retained that structure. They keep acting like cops. They keep putting people to jail. They reprogram. They format the robots.
Yeah, like as a punishment, like it's not exactly, they don't destroy the body, but they like completely format the memories and everything learned, basically.
Yeah, to become fully compliant citizens. Yeah,
like a robot lobotomy without being
yeah
too destructive in there.
And then you go up to the upper level and there's nothing.
Yeah, it's a control room. It's white.
Yeah,
boring.
And the robots have not evolved.
The robots there are completely empty. It's like they have a singular task and they do the task and they just keep the place clean.
We should mention what the robots used to be, which was they used to be like helpers.
Yeah.
Programmed to do a specific task to help. But even with that, it seemed to be that they had more active roles, or rather more integrated roles in the lower levels. Judging by what we glean the relationship was with kids and in families. Because you come across some robots that have like a cone on their head or some kind of weird suit, and you recover one of B12's memories, and he remembers how kids used to play like that in the streets with the robots. So the robots took the kids to school and they played with them. Whereas on the upper level, it seems that they're just cleaners.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow they're not evolved. They're completely cut off from the lower levels. And I think B12 finds one of his last memories there and realizes, oh yeah, there was a pandemic and that started in the lower levels. And up here they thought they were safe. So they shot themselves in here and then they died. And then no one's left.
Mm-hmm. He also learns that he actually was human.
Yeah. Well, he learns that quite early in the game, actually. You're still not out of the lower level.
Mm-hmm.
There's a mid-level, there's a level between the slums, sewers, and the midtown. Like resembling an anthill, almost. And that's where he realizes, oh, right, I was one of the last humans, and he uploaded himself into the network to, I don't know, survive, I suppose. And then he lost his memories, and then you help him to remember that, yeah, this is what happened.
Yeah.
And this is what went down.
And in any case, like concluding the game in that moment, like like B12 decides to give his source of energy to open up the this kind of like layered city and open up the way for you to go up and go outside. So last human, fried, basically dead, gone forever, for one cat to make it out of there, but also to.
But it's not the cat though.
It is also about opening up this structure, this layered structure in your slums you meet on and everything.
Because he makes a comment about how he he kind of lost a little bit his perspective on what the goal was by looking to the past.
Yeah.
And realized that the world doesn't belong to humans anymore. He doesn't have a place in it, and the world now belongs to. I can remember what he calls the robots inhabiting that place, but he says belongs to them and to you, meaning you, the cat.
Yeah. So you lose B12, you go out into the top level, and you take a nap.
Well, you take a nap before you go out. B12 dies, you nap next to him, the city opens up, and then you leave.
But then don't you like curl up right at the end of the level of the game?
No. It does something really nice, I think. Like as you walk out, the camera stays behind, and the cat kind of walks up the stairs, the steps in the distance, sits, looks back, and then leaves.
Of course, assuming that eventually meets up with his kitty friends.
Yeah, I think if we think of because the game allows you to kind of do this. If you look down, you can kind of trace your path through the city. Where you fell, it's like somewhere on the left where the light is kind of blue. And then you came over to the slums. You can see where the big infection is that you went through, like for the sewers, to find that thing you needed to open up the upper level. And then you can trace it up, and you kind of go, you almost 3/4 of the circle, that it's a circular kind of vault, and you're almost 3/4 around it. So basically you're a short walk from where you started with your buddies. It doesn't seem that you get out of it too far from it. So in my mind, it was just a couple minutes walk to the right, and then that's where your home was to begin with. And that's where the cat kind of leaves walking towards the right there.
In any case, it was a matter of time before the
Yeah, I don't know. This is just speculation. The game doesn't really tell you. What it does tell you, or rather what does insinuate, is that this is not the only city.
Indeed. Which I suppose it opens it up for a sequel. They might try to do a sequel.
I don't know. I don't really care. I hope not, because this works the way it is, and I would hate it to be dragged out.
But you know how it is with media right now. They will milk anything. Anything that can have a sequel, they will have a sequel. This was a hit enough. They will announce straight.
At this point, I don't care. It seems interesting from a world-building perspective to consider that, okay, there are other cities. We don't know, and no one knows in there whether those cities have opened up, because there's this... Everyone in there assumes the outside is still dangerous, and no one should go outside, or that the outside does not exist.
Well, now they know that it exists.
Yeah, now they know, and you are proof as well that it does exist, because you came from the outside. Some robots refuse to accept this or acknowledge it, but you did. You're an outsider.
Mm-hmm.
And in the mid-level, there's someone almost nearly sacrifices themselves for you to get out. Clementine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But she's still there when the city opens up. We see her look up.
In general, the people that seem to have a bigger faith about the outside and everything do everything in their power to help you more than anything.
Yeah.
They live with this ideal, basically.
Yeah, and there's a question in there of, if this system has evolved like this, what's happened in the other ones? Maybe a sequel could be interesting, and I really like that the game left it like that.
Yeah, it could have easily went to over-explain everything about the system and how it evolved and everything, but it's really nice to just leave it to you and just let you, think about it for a while. It stays with you the way it is.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't very explicitly, sit you down for 15 minutes to explain exactly everything that happens. And a lot of other games will be tempted to do so in very boring, dialogue scenes or something.
Yes, or really forced exposition dialogue that doesn't make any sense organically at all.
Yeah.
Hideo, I'm looking at you.
Hideo Kojima, please don't change. Please don't change.
No, I don't want him to change at all. It's funny. It's funny.
Warts and all, I like what you make.
It is messy and crazy and unedited and great. But
And the only reason I'm mentioning that is because I finally started playing Death Stranding.
Oh. Okay.
Eventually, we may talk about it.
If we are to talk about it, I need to play the story again. But gee, it's long.
Yeah, it's long. That's why I said eventually.
I will have to find a way to remember it.
Tangent aside, did you notice the flicker at the end in the boards or whatever they were on the wall before the steps while the cat was leaving?
No?
Okay. There was a flicker in the lights in the city, that walkway out. I noticed it and I didn't put much thought into it. Then my partner kind of mentioned this of, hey, what did you think about that? I'm like, I didn't really think anything, but now that you mention it, I do wonder what it means.
What would you think about it then? Like a light? It was the light flickering? What?
It was like, if you remember through the city, there are lots of wall panels and stuff that have lights in them, like boards and stuff like that. And those are off as the cat is walking out. And then they flicker and then they go on. And then the game ends.
I'll have to look at that again. Never noticed it. I don't know what it might mean.
Like, I don't know if it's like one, I suppose, version of the speculation might be that BlueTwelve is still in the network. Like, his vessel was fried, but his software, so to speak, remained in the system.
I don't know. I'll have to see it.
Yeah.
Do you know, like, we talked about it before when you talked about who is the main character. And you said that it seems to be BlueTwelve's story and everything. And I think that is the main gripe that I have with the game. And I mentioned it before. It did feel that the developers did scale down the idea of making a game about a cat. And I would have liked it more to be just cats, or more catty, or more centered around cats, because it evolves a lot in sneaking away from the robots, or finding the little weapon against the Zergs and then frying up the Zergs, or stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it did feel like, yes, we got our cat game, because we haven't gotten a lot of them in the past, but was it catty enough? And to me, it really wasn't, actually.
Okay.
Of course, you will ask me, like, oh, wow, how would you do this, Mr. Game Developer? Make a better game yourself. And it's not an easy thing to do. Like,
I wouldn't say that. I think that's a low blow. And this when you talk about critiquing video games, you can critique something without having to come up with an idea of how would you do this if you were a developer, huh? We're not developers, we're players, so we critique them from the point of view of a player. Like, you can critique something without having to come up with the idea of how you would do it yourself. Anyway, that's what I think.
I could have found it interesting if, let's say, we learned a little bit how these cats were surviving in this post-apocalypse. Maybe you could do like a multiplayer where you play with another person in this open world where you need to hunt and like
no
move around.
I don't want multiplayer.
No, like, still an adventure game, still focused on the story, but it inserted too much humanity in it, and I would like it to be more scaled back, more simple. And it looks odd for me to say that, but I would have liked to see it. It's harder to nail. It's way harder to nail, and I could see why someone would drop an idea like that, because it could easily become...
It's because it sounds like, on a very kind of simplistic take, this sounds on paper like a cat simulator / survival sim, which I wouldn't really be interested in playing, because there are a lot of them and they get really boring and repetitive.
Cat simulators?
No cat simulators, but there are a lot of survival sims. And this, like, if you make a survival sim instead of whatever you are in other games, you're a cat. Okay. Like I can imagine how that game plays out. You hunt, you sneak, you need to sneak, stealth, kill your prey and stuff like that. Like there was a couple of games that came out that were kind of like this. You played some kind of fox or something, no? What were they called?
I don't know.
Anyway,
I don't know.
you had one of them, I think, at some point. You had played it and you said you didn't like it. I'm not sure.
Of course, when I'm suggesting like a game like that, I don't mean you go as a survival route. I mean, you still keep it within an adventure thing. You can make a story out of it, but it did have a little bit too much humanity. That's all.
Okay. Yeah.
Which it did not necessarily end up in a bad game. Like, it wasn't a bad game at all. It was a very good game, I think. But it was a very good game that I would have preferred to have something slightly different. Because we have seen this kind of story before, the human story of it. There's a cat inserted as a vessel to pull you through all the beats. It wasn't new, but it wasn't bad. Like, you don't have to make a new thing every time you make something. But if you had something more scaled back and you try to build on top of that, with some interesting mechanics about being a cat and everything, that would have been more fresh. Because I expected something very fresh with it, but I didn't get it.
I can't help but think that it might, with the story they said, if they still wanted to say a story through it like this, if you add elements of a cat life in it, you would risk losing the pacing and the focus. So you'd have to make a different game, essentially, to do what you're thinking, right?
Not necessarily. I mean, I'm thinking of very like weird stuff that could also have zero dialogue in it. And a lot of people would lose focus if they had something so quiet and just scaled back. I don't know. Like, I don't know that there's a movie that came out recently that's like a prequel to the Predator series. Random comparison to draw here, but
yeah. Also, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, they made a prequel to the Predator called Prey. Prey is set in the like colonization period of America, and the Predator comes in the 1700s or 1800s.
Okay.
And when I first saw like some images, I thought it was gonna be like cave people. Like Predator comes here when they're like cavemen. And I thought it was going to be very scaled back, very little dialogue, and just like a very survival-focused, thrillery thing where the protagonist barely speaks, just like tackles this alien thing. And it would have been really cool. It ends up being full of dialogue and also full of fucking English dialogue when indigenous people speak English. And I was like, why are you doing this?
Okay, that's the standard problem of cinema, though.
Yeah, but like that's what I expect. I expected less, because sometimes for me less is more. Something more simple leaves a bigger impact, and it didn't leave the impact that I expected because of it.
Okay.
However, I really love the game because how many cat games have we got in the past that weren't shit?
Have we even gotten any cat games? Oh, there was a cat simulator. All right.
Not mainline games. No, like this kind of treatment was never gotten there. These kind of graphics, this kind of production behind them.
I can only think of one game that is a cat. I think it's called Cat Simulator, and you just jump up on furniture in a room and you throw shit off to the floor.
Yes, that's cat lateral damage.
Oh, right. Is there anything else? Because I can't think of anything else.
There is a Stray Cat's Tale, I think. It's a little pixel adventure game that you're a stray cat and you try to survive in the street.
Okay.
Cute, not amazing, but cute. It's been a while since I played it, but it was not bad. There is a terrible platformer called Cat Dot that I bought for 31 pence in the Nintendo store. I played 5 minutes of it. I was like, that was a waste of 31 pence. So, I don't know. Is there anything else? There was some cats in Assassin's Creed and you pet them.
Yeah, I can think of games where there are animals in them and you have some interaction or basic interaction, but beyond that...
There's Life of the Black Tiger on PS4. Like, what did this even exist? I don't know. Anyway, where is the cat representation, people? We had Dog's Life, which was like one of the best games ever made.
Yeah, and that was ages ago.
Yeah.
But that's the only other game I can think of where you play an animal.
Dog's Life, best game ever made.
Yeah, we don't really get animal games a lot.
No, and I think that's why I'm getting like a little bit annoyed that there's too much humanity in there. But you know, still, it is something fresher than normal, more interesting than normal, more daring than normal, and I was extremely happy that this was successful.
Yeah.
And I watched Jackson Galaxy playing through it, so it was really funny.
I haven't. I saw a couple of videos come up on my YouTube feed of cat behavior, cat expert reacts to thing. I'm like, nah.
I know he actually played through it. It wasn't just a reaction.
Okay.
He's very bad at video.
I think it was a GameSpot video with a cat expert reacts to Stray or something.
Whatever.
Yeah. Speaking of cat experts, I thought the body language was a little bit underdeveloped. The animation and the body language. But I don't, like, this is again nitpicking and with full understanding of limited resources and how difficult it is to animate some certain things. Like it did one thing that threw me off a little bit. The tail didn't make any sense the way it was moving in a lot of places.
Yeah.
Sometimes the tail was kind of randomly going up, and a cat wouldn't, I think, go up with the tail up because as you enter, I have a screenshot even of that. As you exit rather the sewer area where you first fall into, and you go through some iron bars into the slums, her tail is up. It's like, she's not happy being there.
Yeah, I don't think it was made by cat behaviorists, and the game was short enough to not make it too apparent. Like, everything that was happening around you was distracting enough for you to kind of not pay attention. But no, see, that's a cool idea for a game. Making a cat game where you're like in a wild cat colony in a post-apocalypse, no robots or humans or anything, and you have to learn to communicate with them. So you have to start picking up the communication cues to make your pack and survive better.
This sounds cool, but what I'm also thinking is all the survival sim tropes that would come with such a game, and it would just be boring and the same as everything else.
Any studio out there, if you are afraid of doing this game, take me. I'm so smart. I can design your game without the survival sim tropes. I make a game about being a fucking cat and cleaning yourself for 19 hours interesting. Hire me.
For free, though, because no one's going to buy that.
No, some people will ironically play it on Steam.
Yeah. Sure, yeah.
For 80 cents or something. Anyway.
It was great for what it was. I know that this, from what I remember, this started quite early, like the deal with Annapurna Interactive, like the publisher was signed back in 2015 or something, when Annapurna Interactive hadn't I think at some point they hadn't published anything. So this was the first maybe deal that they did for a game. And I think it was pared down to what they initially started the idea as, because it was becoming too expensive and difficult to make. So maybe there's a little bit of truth in what you see and how it maybe narrowed or limited itself a bit as it went up the levels. Or maybe what the design was meaningfully changed to accommodate the limitations that they had to deal with. Which I'm fine with. Sometimes limitations actually breed creativity.
there is a huge possibility that without those limitations, the game would have become longer. It would have dragged. It wouldn't have
Yeah.
stayed as interesting as it did now. And I think we got a good result in the end. Like, it could have been also a case of Dark Souls where they keep the areas but they don't work on them, so you have like your lost isolates and stuff that are kind of shitty and like underworked. So I think we got a good medium.
Also makes me a little bit excited in that if they do make another game now that they've become successful, maybe some of the ideas that they had to throw out can go into a next game. And with the experience that they also have from this one, maybe it'll end up being a better implementation of what they had in mind.
Maybe. It is only a matter of waiting to see what's going to happen. What I'm excited for is that the success of this game is going to breed, hopefully, fingers crossed, like going to breed like a new wave of animal games that we haven't had before. And maybe we're even going to get Tokyo Jungle 2.
Ha! Yeah, I thought of that briefly when we're talking about there not existing many other games. There was Tokyo Jungle, but I never played it.
It is if I upgrade to PS Plus Premium, I can play it again.
Is it on Premium?
It's on Premium, yeah.
Okay.
A lot of PS3 games, but then upload to Premium because right now it's limited. Anyway.
Yeah. Also, it's streaming only, I think, for the PS3 games.
Yeah. I think the last thing that I would like to comment on, which is just like a little thumbs up, is I really like the music of the game.
Yes.
Especially,
it was awesome.
especially the way that the robots were interpreting human music, and it was like offbeat, off key a little bit, and a little bit broken. I thought it was extremely cute.
I like the titles of the songs. That you find some tapes. There's a musician. There's a guitar player in the slums that's looking for music sheets to play, not tapes. Sorry.
Yeah.
So you find some music sheets around, and you take them to him, and then he plays them. And the titles are all changed, but they're kind of adaptations of actual old songs.
Yeah, I think it was very cute.
I like the way you compute tonight and stuff like that.
It was very funny. It was very funny, and just in general, like the music, the score of the game helped build an atmosphere that was either oppressive or hopeful or anything. Very well made.
Yes,
I was happy with that.
Yes,
so little thumbs up there.
It was a surprise. I wasn't expecting much from it, and I came away. I mean, I finished it in a week.
Finished it in a day.
Yeah, I finished it in a week, and I'll tell you why. And this is also testament to how much I like the game. The camera made me a little bit dizzy. I don't usually get this from games. Like, I hadn't felt sickness from a game, like motion sickness, since the Half-Life 2 era. With the Source engine of that time made me really queasy, like within half an hour. This is the first time I actually felt like this since then. So I had to play it in short bursts because I couldn't handle more than maybe an hour straight without starting to feel a bit uncomfortable. I also do another thing that I think kind of exacerbates my game playing pacing, is that I play multiple games concurrently. So one week I may play this, the next week I may play something else, and then I go back to this, and yeah.
Yeah, that's how Bloodborne lasted 6 years for you or something.
No, I think, if I'm fair, I did play Bloodborne within a few months. It's just I had a lot of false starts. I had a lot of false starts because I would start it and then life would get in the way for one reason or another, or I wouldn't be in the right headspace for it. And eventually, turns out the right headspace for it was towards the end of my postgrad, because that makes a lot of sense.
I mean,
that's when I finished it.
I played Elden Ring in a very stressful time.
I know, it was so weird. Like it was relaxing to play Bloodborne.
Yeah, nothing to relieve your stress by other than getting pummeled to death by gigantic things that are.
I know
that you are nothing compared to. Well, okay, Stray.
So that was Stray. That was Stray. Also, it's kind of short. It's fairly short game as well. So
yeah, I think 4 hours or so, 5.
Okay, my save, and that includes me replaying the sewers because I realized I missed one memory when I went to the next area, and I wanted to get that memory, not for the trophy, just because of how meaningful the memories were. But I guess I didn't lose much time doing that. It was 12 hours. So I spent a lot of time like looking around, walking slowly at places. Also, this included me sleeping at several spots for 20 minutes here and there. So
well, if I am to add the 1 hour of plus of sleeping or just endlessly scratching, you can.
Yeah, but all this is game. For me, that's the experience of the game. So I experienced the game for the first time in 12 and a half hours, doing all this random stuff and going and scratching at the door and then walking away and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Play Stray. It's good.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a summer hit. Summer surprise hit.
Meow.
Brr.
I should go and poop in a litter box and then put the litter all over the room and then go to my master and show them my butthole.
And then zoom across the living room with some poop hanging from my butt hair
because I could not stop leaking my hair before and just all hanging out there.
Oh, fucking cats, man.
Oh man, it makes me. There was one time that we were sleeping, and there was one of my cats sleeping with us. But it's summer. It's in Greece, super hot, so you have to sleep with the fucking window open, right?
Yeah.
And another fucking cat comes in the room. So as me and my partner are sleeping, those two cats start fighting on top of the bed when we are sleeping in the middle of the night.
Wow.
And you know how cats scream when they fight?
Yeah.
It was the most horrifying moment in my life because I woke up to screaming on me.
Yeah, and I imagine there was also jumping and flailing about.
I think we scared the other cat off, but it made me wonder if I could sleep again with my cat. With an open window.
That doesn't sound pleasant way to wake up. I'll take the passive aggressive from the hallway when she's walking up before me and she's bored and she wants her belly rubbed.
Yeah, your cat is very passive aggressive.
Because it's not, hey, wake up to feed me. Because if you get up and put food in her bowl, she looks at you and then walks back to the hallway and lies down and shows you her belly because it's time to play with me, not feed me.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Cats. They're great.
That's all for now.
Thank you for listening into this this episode.
Up until the next special, which is going to be a David Cage game.
I don't know what it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be a David Cage game, but yes.
David Cage game. Confirmed.
It's going to be something.
Confirmed David Cage.
Is he making a new game now?
I don't care. We're going to play it.
We're going to talk about lawsuits. Yeah.
Let's not talk about David Cage lawsuits because they're less fun.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Bye.